This is Let's Talk Big, the Big Read, with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel. The Owens Community College Campus Read is taking place now and throughout the semester, with the goal of bringing awareness of different perspectives through books. The Campus Read book is What My Bones Know by acclaimed journalist Stephanie Foo. It's the story of her reckoning and healing by investigating the little understood science behind complex PTSD and how it's shaped her life. Here, sharing their insight about the book, What My Bones Know, is Owens Community College Director of Library Services, Jane Berger, and Professor of English, Jen Hazel.
I'm Jen Hazel, and I have with me
Jane Berger.
Jane, do you have a passage for us?
Oh, I've been waiting so long to hear that question. You know, that's one of my favorites.
I know, and it's been a little while, so.
It has been. So this passage is actually from chapter 7. I'm assuming you've been able to get that far because we're not even at page 50 when I'm talking about chapter 7. So here's the one that I want to share today with you. But how was I to begin letting it go when anger was the force that gave me momentum? My anger was my power. It was what protected me. Without it, wouldn't I be sad and naked? I decided in the end to cleanse myself of all of it. An act of radical forgiveness was the only thing that might rip me out of the loop. And so one by one, I counted the people I hated and told myself that I could not know their struggle. I tried to see things from their perspective, and I wished them the best. So there's a lot really in there. The fact that she realizes she has so much anger, and that is kind of a motivator for her in one way, but it's what she's learned. It's what she's lived with. You will have learned some of that by now in the first, 40-some pages, just what she has encountered. But it's a struggle for her every day, every minute of that day, to try to make things positive. So the fact that she's aware that her anger is part of her being at this point in her life, and that she needs to consciously address it, take care of it, wish these people well, and let it go. And while we've all often made fun, I think, of that term "let it go" ever since Elsa came on the scene,
Elsa.
It really is true. It is so therapeutic for each one of us to be able to let things go that we hold on to, that cause so much anxiety and stress in our lives, that could actually end up manifesting into something, physical if we don't learn how to manage that. And I think by Stephanie writing that in here, and might be a good time for us all to take a little bit of a mental health check to see where we are, what things trigger us, what things make us angry, or what anger do we hold on to that we really do just need to say, I need to let it go. I can't do this anymore. It's not good for me. And maybe that's the perspective, is it's not good for me. Don't worry about how you feel with anybody else. What's going to be the best for you? That's what you need to look at. It's okay to be a little selfish right now. Look and see what is beneficial to you.
Well, a couple of things, Jane. One, I don't think that it's selfish to
True.
say that. It's more about, sometimes we're so concerned about others that, or maybe more in a selfish way, we're concerned about what others think about us, instead of,
Right.
at the core, us. So I think that's a really good point to bring up like that. I mean, it's like letting things go, because the more you focus, the more it festers, and the more it can add to not just mental health problems, but a lot of them can go through and add physical problems as well.
Yep, definitely.
From that. And that's something, to keep in mind, that stress mentally affects us, but it also physically affects us as well, and anger as well. And I think one of the things too is that kudos for Stephanie for being able to recognize that she's angry and that she's carrying that anger, and at a certain point she can't make progress until she's let that go.
Right. And I found it really interesting that she said that the anger protected her. And I think that's so true. I never really thought about it, but it does sort of give you a protective shield, because now you don't have to really get close or open yourself up, because certainly when you open yourself up to others and positive emotions, that can lead to some hurt in a different way than what she has experienced. And I thought, wow, I never really thought about that. So that brought that to light for me.
Yeah, that like shield is very protecting, and like if you're always angry too, you don't have to explore what's underneath that anger, which is actually hurt.
True. Lots more to talk about as we continue to read this together. If you're ever in the library or you see Jen in class or on campus somewhere, and you wanted to talk about something that we've talked about on our podcast, please just stop us and say, hey, I heard you talk on your podcast, and we'll have a nice conversation.
On behalf of Jane Berger, I'm Jen Hazel, and we would love for you to keep talking big.
Join us again for Let's Talk Big, the big read with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel.